Nurse Jing for the first assignment where I had to go out and find some data from the government website. This is my original spreadsheet. I have not removed anything from it at this time because we were taught that the first step of the process when you're going to be using pivot tables and doing data mining is that you want to clean up the information so that things that maybe aren't relevant or maybe they're only in a few columns or a few rows that we may not want to have them throw off our whole table. So what I did is the first thing I had to do was go through and look at my headers here and figure out what each of these means. And after doing that, I then went through and I took a look at the information that is in here. And I have decided to now start looking at which columns or rows I want to get rid of. And basically the first column here is the trade type. 1 stands for export and 2 stands for import. So that I think I will want to keep. And then I obviously have the state name, which I think can be beneficial. And then also our commodity code, and then we have our mode of transportation. This is important because each of these numbers represents a type of transportation, whether it's truck, rail, boat, things like that. However, this Mexican state, which is E here, and our Canadian province, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of both of those columns. And the reason I'm getting rid of them is because column G has a country code, and the only country codes that are in here are 2010 for Mexico and 1220 for Canada, because we're only looking at North American trade at this point. So there are no other countries involved. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these 2 columns because they are unnecessary, because I don't really want to concern myself with which province or which Mexican state they went to. I think just whether they went to Canada or Mexico is what's relevant. And then we have our value, our ship weight, and our freight charges that go along with that. And then we also have our domestic and foreign code here, with 1 being that the product was manufactured domestically, 2 being foreign production. At first I thought this was going to be a really beneficial field until I got to looking down here. And once you get down into the out of the export and get into import, there is no information in there. So I don't think that that is going to be beneficial for us because it's only on the exporting information. So I'm considering that one, whether I want to get rid of it or not. Now, the next code is the, and J is the how this product was contained, whether it was contained or not. And apparently, from my research, it only reports for truck and rail only. And there are like 7 other modes of transportation. So I don't think that's going to be beneficial either. And then, of course, K and L are the month and year, and these are all from May of 2012. So the month and year, I don't feel they're going to be beneficial either, because I know they're all from the same month and year. Where the month and year might be beneficial is if I was comparing May of 2012 to May of 11 and May of 10, or if I was comparing 2012 to 2010 to 2011 or something like that, where a month or a year might be important. But in this situation, all my data is from the same time period. So I'm going to go ahead and delete those also. And then now I am ready to start moving forward with some of my pivot tables.